He doesn't take any shortcuts. It's an art. I mean, there's a fine line between art and craft. Being a professional, sometimes you have to take on work, so you do it. Well, that's a craft. But when you invent something, which, you know, a lot of the times Fane does, that's an art. Some of the stuff he does, you'll never see it anywhere. So that's what makes it special.
It's a 3-layered piece, 2 hollow dish forms and a centrepiece. And it's all based on actually the phases of the moon. And what I'd done was I ended up painting a design on the inside of the stone. So you can see there's a bit of kōwhawhai coming through. And this is that whole fascination with light. And, you know, just light passing through an empty space. So on one side we have this, and then when you flip it over, it becomes this. Right. I had a couple of cousins that became chefs. Dad sort of thought a diesel mechanic could be a good option, but, you know, cars didn't interest me. Always had a fascination with Māori art. I thought, you know, it might be a good hobby to have and then go and get a real job. I didn't know that I'd be still carving today, but it's a way of life. It's years of just really strict disciplines. You know, a lot of people don't really appreciate the amount of time and effort that actually goes into getting to where we are.
What would strike me first is, oh, here's actually somebody coming from the carving school, and then I have a closer look. Oh, that's Fane. Only he would do that.
We were all taught sort of pretty basic, you know, the generalised patterns, many different styles of patterns, you know, tribal styles. But Fane kind of plays with them a bit, mixes them up a bit.
I've always admired his cleanness, his discipline with his work, you know, and how he can actually make it more contemporary. If it's a story about Maui, and so they might have a bird or a fish or something down there, you'll see that old, you know, 200-year-old traditional style in there, then you'll see a little bit of contemporary, and he marries them in really well. Oh, stiff competition, that guy, you know.
There was a point of time when carving was becoming very extinct and very rare. Hence Parliament, you know, setting up the New Zealand Māori Arts and Crafts Institute. You know, it was a government-pushed thing just to revive the Māori arts. In terms of mentoring, it's vital, becoming more and more so even now, even within our tribe. And we're talking more about traditional arts, because when we looked at our weavers and our carvers within our tribe, there's not many.
You know, you could die tomorrow. And you've done this for what reason? You're pretty greedy to take it to the grave. So, yeah, there is a time to pass on, I suppose.
It's a whānau thing. I just do what I can, help out around the place. I really like animals. I'm an animal person, so I don't mind tending to all the animals. Works great for me. Works really well in my favour.
Fane has taken the responsibility of nurturing Caleb, and it's his nephew, it's his family. So what he's really doing is he's cementing that tradition in his family, and I don't, you know, that's honourable. It's an honourable thing to do. I think that's what Fane and Caleb have found, that relationship where they're good for each other, and especially when Caleb's so passionate about what he's doing.
For me, growing up, Fane was one of my idols. I mean, he's recognised as one of the modern masters. Now to be following in his footsteps, you know, it's kind of Yeah, it's really pleasing to me.
And then you grab the vice grips and you hold the wheel and then tighten it from that side.
I don't know how easy it would be to, getting bossed around by fame, but, I hope Caleb realises how precious that is.
Is it slow enough?
Yeah, are you pushing down hard or what?
Oh no.
What are you trying to make that hurt?
Let's put your hand. Oh, put your hand back up. Don't move it.
He's a very honest critic. And that's good too because it keeps me honest. He's about the art and he's about uplifting the art. He's not afraid to hack something up that you've done if he doesn't like it. There's a heartbreaking moment when you've spent a whole week doing a design on something and start again, boy. I know where he's coming from. He's doing it to make me the best artist that I can be. When he's giving you grief and picking on you and teasing you, it's all in love,
This is all about Caleb. Everything about him's just a continuation of a journey. His journey. I'll do some design elements that aren't related to Caleb, but they're related to the person that he wants to be, i.e. carving forms, so carving designs. So it's, in a way, Caleb's got, he's a walking reference for himself as well.
I actually use my skin as a reference when I'm drawing, eh?
And he'd be dumb not to.
He's a proud South Islander, he's a proud West Coaster, so you can see that in his work. He likes working with Pounamu and wood, but he put them together.
I think I always had a bit of a desire to carve Pounamu. I used to walk up the river with my dad, with my mum, my aunties. That's just what we done. My thing's a lot different to other carvers. I look at a stone and I think, can I get a meri Pounamu out of it? And then if I can't get a meri Pounamu, man, I want to do a tiki. The biggest thing for me was understanding form. A lot of people think it's such a simple form to execute, and it's quite the opposite. Yeah, on a bit of a mission, I want to do a series of tiki, make them all different. 150 was the target. I really love the purity of the stone, even when it's unflawed. But to me, something that's got a little bit of character, i.e. a bit of crust coming through, I think it just adds something different to the form. But to me, I think it's the crust I like. Some people learn to carve a tiki and they think that's it. And that's the tiki they carve for the rest of their life. Yeah, they might become good at it, but what are they doing? That's a craftsman. I suppose that's the difference between a craftsman and trying to be an artist. Although it's not quite finished, is I've inverted the fingers, and one of the reasons is when the light actually goes through, it has a different reveal. The opinion of others is they'll pick up a carved piece and the first thing you hear out of a lot of their mouths is, oh, what a glorious piece of stone. Yes, the stone is attractive, but I want them to pick it up because they actually like the piece. This is your manaya form. So we've got a head, body, there's a leg. This acts as an arm as well. It took me 20 years for everything to click. Was that slow? I think it's quite fast. Our influences today aren't so much from the school, but from our environment, from our whakapapa, from the land. When I carve, it's not just me, it's my affiliations. It's the influences around me. The kaupapa that I've chosen. I'm doing naitahu, or I'm doing mamoi, or or Ngāti Apa, you know, it's ours. Our whakapapa makes it ours. You can't get any more truer form than that.
He mea tautoko nā te māngai.
Well, I'm a really shitty photographer. I'm terrible. I mean, look, I was running around the house like a chicken with my head chopped off going, oh my God, my favourite lens is missing. And I'd been looking at it for days and just thinking it was another lens. I didn't even recognise it. And it was my favourite lens that I've used for years. So, you know, equipment's just like totally beyond me. So that's why I could never kind of get a smart ass about it. It's just like every day, so it's just, you know, it's humiliating.
I tuia te rangi I tūnei, I tuia te papa I tā koto nei, ka rango te pō, ka rango te ao, tihe Māori ora.
Photography is very Don Quixote kind of thing, because it is. It's like, it is taking on the universe, it is tilting at windmills, because you're dealing with time. And you have to take a photograph, you have to decide when to shoot, and like, I mean, time's immense, and so how do you know when to do it? Some people find that difficult. I don't, because there's a freedom in it. I see it just as freedom, not as restriction or pressure.
Yeah, that's it there. That's really good, that looks more relaxed.
Yeah, let's have a look and see if that catches.
Fiona has, throughout her entire career, been right at the kind of the forefront, I think, of many of the major shifts in New Zealand contemporary photography, which has really kind of kept her practice in everyone's mind and everyone's sight for a long time. When she first was at Elam Art School and training to be a photographer, she became so seduced with the darkroom and this idea of the analogue photograph.
I was very lucky to get into the art school, I think. We just tried everything in the first year, and I just loved photography the minute I got in there. It was documentary, like, you know, very clean, take lots of photographs, you know, hose the situation down. And in those days, you could be quite confrontational as a photographer. It was much less political, so you could get right into people's faces. But I just didn't have the nature for that. It was just terrifying. Because I'm kind of I'm quite socially phobic, and I always was. And in a sense, photography was great because it released me, or it gave me I could get out into society with a camera in front of me. And then in the end, I had the photographs. They were, you know, they were doing it for me.
Well, she was like nothing anyone in this country had seen. It was dramatic, it was intense, and right from the beginning, she was exploring ways of translating photography into something even more intense and more powerful.
There were people like Dwayne Michaels in America who were working much more emotionally and working on their own kind of personal scripts and their own, you know, imaginings, and setting up photographs and lighting it their own way, and like little theatres, I suppose.
And kind of get the angry man thing going on.
It's just quite a simple thing. It's me photographing my kids. It's just a bit of an indulgence, really.
A lot of her early subjects were her whānau. And as she became more comfortable with her Māori, her kaitahu identity, she became more interested in the way that related to whakapapa, and the way that related to tikanga, and the way that related to that spiritual dimension.
Grandma Furley. She used to take us in the holidays, my brother and I, to the museum, It was beautiful, quiet, smelt really nice. I loved the Egyptian section, I loved all the pounamu. I had no idea why I loved it, but I loved it. And it was very cool and spooky when we found out why we loved it so much. When, you know, it was just like hitting the jackpot. It came from, you know, whakapapa that was the pounamu whakapapa. So that was just like magic.
Fiona started going into museums and photographing Tonga directly. And in a way, I think it kind of parallels how museums looked at Tonga for many years, and for a long time they were sort of treated as dead artefacts in a display case. When she went into those collections, she's on her turanga waiwai. This is her whakapapa. This is her essence drawing out of these things, seeing their energy and reinvesting them in a symbolic and a visual way with their mana, their rightful mana. And as the process in museums has changed to reflect a greater understanding and respect for that role of kaitiangi.
Yeah, it's impossible to overstate the importance of the head to Māori. And chiefs, every tiny hair on their head was a powerful spiritual conductor to, you know, to the gods. So it's even kind of hard for me to comprehend how powerful that idea of the head is. It's about the identity. We look at each other's heads. We are, in a sense, our heads, and the rest of us is just something that is around the head.
A picture of an ancestor is tonga because it contains part of their essence. And that was a springboard for looking at lots of different things in a new way, and how to reflect that level of spirit in a photographic image.
Wow, that's so beautiful.
Pretty dull.
Oh yeah, he looks really cocky. I like him. Actually, maybe her, because she's got a small beak, but she's got a very pretty shape.
This one?
Body shape, yes. Yeah, she's beautiful.
Having to deal with rare and extinct birds is just, that's really hard work. It's miserable because you have to open up the big metal boxes and then just look at all these dead birds. I think I just continually mourn that.
May I just take these little guys up too, because I'm really fascinated.
That one?
Oh yes, he's lovely.
That was a good one. Okay. He knows fingers.
The only time that I'd really seen huia was when you're eating your Christmas pudding and bite on a sixpence and there's the little huia coin. And it just occurred to me once I was considering my subject matter in museums that huia were quite important in the past. They were on stamps, and then people seem to forget about them. So I thought, right, this is good. Because I've always been interested in conservation, and I'm always scandalised by successive governments' lack of interest in the most important things that we've got, which are our birds and our forests and our waterways. And so I thought, oh, well, maybe it's time for these birds to have an outing. And so that's what I did. Yeah, it's that whole idea of light coming from within, that radiance from within. I'm a big Caravaggio fan, so his lighting is really, for me, it's just like the best.
I think Fiona's work leaves open a space where any viewer can come and respond and react intuitively, emotionally, sensitively to what's inside that image. Her photographs are often very personal, and they contain, you know, objects and meanings and values which have perhaps a very kind of secretive or emotional kind of core to her. But you stand in front of some of her work and suddenly this sentimental kind of feeling, suddenly you're feeling things that, you know, you're like, well, I'm not comfortable feeling these things in life or in front of a photograph. And I think her photographs have that ability to make us feel as well as make us think.
Flowers really stress me out because they're
You know, people go, beautiful flowers, and then they throw them away. All I see is these beautiful things dying in my house. So, in fact, I'm much more comfortable once they're dead. And, you know, that's the thing with me. All of my still lifes from the very beginning have been all about things, you know, leaves falling, all the stuff that's left over, which is really about how ephemeral life is, and that, you know, death, there's always death in the midst of life. There, you know, you can't have one without the other, obviously. And so it's all very memento mori. Well, that's the one thing that you learn as a photographer, is how the uniqueness of every object. Where some people see photography as, you know, like this numb indexicality, full of indifference, I kind of see it as an eye that provokes you to see everything as incredibly precious and unique. The little karakia I do is given to me by Rangaihi Black. I tuia te rangi tūnei, I tuia te papa e tā koto nei, ka rango te pō, ka rango te ao, tihe Māori ora. So, thank you, creatures. Let's see if we can make some art together.
He mea tautoko nā te māngai.
God, it needs a bloody dust up here. I enjoy making cutouts, but to a certain point, because they're highly labour intensive and you've got to cut for many, many hours. And you get to a point where, I just wish tomorrow morning I woke up and the fairies have been and done all the cutting for me. I can see bits in the paper where I've gone, I cut a bit wide there, or I cut a bit thin there. But I think it's really important to have that craft. There's a lot of respect for that. And it is like making a painting. There's a lot of the strokes in all of the cutouts that I make. What's happening with my cutouts now is it's starting to hang in free space, suspended from the ceiling, rather than up against the wall, which is quite traditional. This is probably my favourite installation of these three cutout works. To suspend them so that they look like they're floating, and to be able to interact with them this way and move around them and look through them. Just presents this other dynamic to the work.
The cutout is something that fascinates people because people can see the way that she manipulates light and shade. It's very visceral, it's very obvious how she's using something ephemeral and kind of conjuring with it. So it's got tremendous appeal because the works are never static. You can always put them into play, different times of day, different times, they're going to look different.
When I first started making them, I was researching kōwhaiwhai. And that kind of repetition and mirroring of patterns worked really well for cutouts. The next minute I was, also working with the shadow and with the light. And also too, staying in so many different whares and, when you go to bed at night and then you look up at the roof and you look at all the rafters and you see all the different kōwhaiwhai patterns. Some of them are quite old and traditional and some of them are really contemporary and you just kind of sit there and just look at them all like that. So I was quite inspired by that. The thing about kōwhaiwhai is, it's about whakapapa. I really like that. And it's not only just, you know, when I'm talking about whakapapa, it's not like my personal or my family whakapapa, you know, whakapapa of nature, of plants, of trees, of things. So this work here, Strata, you can see it's about these layers. And I was thinking about how we find out information about our history and how archaeologists and ethnologists and that look at land and they dig down to find evidence of occupation. You find the layer of shell, you find layers of ash, and so you glean all this information that's in the land that tells you about the people that used to occupy the land. But on another level, these stratas represent the heavens. We have many heavens in Māori and Polynesian cultures. While this work is talking about the land, it's also talking about spirituality as well.
What's really great about Lonnie and the way that she works is that she makes reference to place a lot of times. So she's done works about, you know, the Seven Sisters. She's done works about the hills around Christchurch. She's made reference to her Ngāi Tahu ancestry. And this work, which has to do with the historical stories of the Waiao and Clarence rivers. So she'll do that, but then she'll also use materials which are familiar to people, builder's paper or, you know, objects that are familiar like combs or the concertina pattern, and people can relate to that.
Once you're recognised for something, it's very hard to actually change direction. With watercolours, you've got to, depending on what you're trying to achieve, I suppose, but basically you've got to work really fast. The drawings that I'm working on now are a lot more freer. They're not so tight. And what's interested me conceptually has been transformation. Now, a lot of Māori myth, a lot of Ngāi Tahu myth talk about transformation, or what we might call shapeshifters. I am part of the gay community, and so I've always been around lesbians and gay artists as well as, you know, transgendered artists as well.
I just freestyled my fingers.
What's happened is I think they're a bit of a phenomenon in that these visual artists are gay, homosexual, transgender, but they're working from I suppose, a fine arts context and dressing up and performing. But when they perform, they just transform like you wouldn't believe. Six of these images actually come from the poses of one of the FAF swag performers. We're starting to engage a lot more in dialogue that looks at the history of other genders, especially in Indigenous cultures or in Māori and Polynesian cultures. Transgendered individuals were revered as having, I suppose, shaman qualities. And I find that area really interesting, and that's what I'd like to make further inquiries about. I'd make it for me first. I remember one lecturer when I was at art school that said, if you want to make it as an artist, you have to be a bit selfish. You have to devote everything to your work, you know. And you make that work for yourself first. And it's rung true, you know, because I always thought, oh, Polynesians, we're not selfish. We're not like that. But yeah, you are for that time that you're making, that first view when you see it. And then you feel really eager and kind of go, right, and now I'm ready to share it.
He mea tautoko nā te māngai.
Yep, one artwork turns into another artwork, gets moved from one city to another, one country to another. 1 minute I think you're having a mihi for the Prime Minister of Greece, and the next thing you know it's the President. It's ongoing, this one, brother. It's ongoing.
Oh, tūmataroa. What's that? It should be a relation of films. There's the prata. Two medias of prata. Oh, te wehi.
Yeah. L.T. Wirita, and he was 22 years of age when he died out here. The fact that he is here and that we're here and we've brought our ancestors here, there's definitely a much stronger connection to bringing our ancestors to Athens than had quite realised maybe earlier this morning. To find somebody from Tuahiwi as we bring ancestors from Tuahiwi also to the city of Athens. It deepens our purpose for being here, and it's poetic as well. I don't really believe in coincidence. My practice engages in things leading to other things through, in this case, tikanga. And meaning comes from that. But it can't be denied after 2 or 3 years now that with this project, it just keeps feeding into, it just keeps deepening itself. It's really, the project has really put its roots down back home and now here as well. So how that comes about is something I'm not so sure. It's my responsibility to talk about. Yeah, I don't know how.
Raise the anchor, unfurl the sails, set sail for an ever-setting sun. Great title. He talks about it as the shortest film ever made. And it is a film still, and it's a found object. It was from 1905 of Lord and Lady Plunkett in their motor car, arriving at Tuahiwi Reserve, flanked by Ngāi Tahu elders in full ceremonial regalia. It was one of those images that the more he looked at, the more he considered it to be the basis of a work.
You know, there's a kind of glamour to it, which is important to its basic effect. You know, his sense of style has this an affection for American culture, and so for that work he talks about Western movies, for example, particularly The Magnificent Seven, and then the mechanism of selecting the old image, sharpening it up and presenting it is, for me, much closer to a musical gesture, like finding the right beat and sampling it correctly. The newspaper photograph is the dusty old record, and he's done his crate digging and he's found the good bit. You know, this is the way to bring it back and to help them look good. You know, make sure they're on point for the presentation.
It's actually, I think, a very complex conceptual work that is disarmingly and surprisingly simplistic in its form. And they're the works that often have greatest resonance over time.
My input or my engagement with art making is just really very simple. Very, very simple engagement. So I'm working to present something on its own terms as much as possible, and with as little flair from me as needed, because it doesn't need anything else. It exists on its own terms as quality work. I'm not pushing or constructing anything here. I'm simply picking up the responsibilities on how these guys are presented in the world, and that the appropriate tikanga is followed to enable that, to facilitate that. Here we are in the 21st century now, and we are able to produce representations of our tipuna in significantly new ways, but to be able to move them easily around the world is very different to the tradition of them being in the wharenui within the takiwā, or on the marae and within the takiwā of the people who descend from them. So how do you move them all of a sudden around the world? There's no precedent for that. And that's been the challenge and the responsibility along in the work. Yeah.
It is my great pleasure, indeed, and honor to welcome you to the inauguration of Documenta 14 in Athens.
Documenta is the avant-garde event internationally. It's the one. You know, from Christchurch, New Zealand, you don't really think about getting your work to Documenta, but here we are. Hendrik Fulks saw the work on the forecourt of Auckland Art Gallery, and he simply said, "Nathan, write to me. I'm interested in what you're doing. This will happen."
Basically, what Documenta proposes is a methodology of displacement. And I think Nathan's work, by always turning around images, looking at them in different ways, or sort of displacing them in time as well, as he has done here, makes him unique, I think, makes his work unique to what Documenta 14 is proposing, not as a theme, but as a direction, as you say, as a working methodology. The image that he shows here, in the lobby of the National Museum of Contemporary Art here in Athens, is an incredibly ambiguous historical image that is loaded with meanings, that sort of branch out into a history of colonialism, a history of the Maori peoples as well. And I think Nathan's work here, but in general, has the quality of actually making such ambiguity quite explicit without making it too obvious, if that makes sense. So that you always are left with certain questions and you want to go deeper and deeper and deeper. I think that is the quality of his work, actually.
It's important for us to be here because the image of our ancestors is not just an image. I'm born from Mother Earth, and in my time I will return to Mother Earth and the cycle will start again. Although my ancestors might be departed from this world, they are still part of that continuous system. They still are alive to me. They're not just things on a picture.
It's a living image of our ancestors, a living image of our tipuna. In that image, to me, they are still there. So therefore, wherever they travel around the world or throughout New Zealand, we have to acknowledge them and look after them because their mauri, their wairua are still with us. And to Nathan, I think that's what he's started to understand, is that it's more than a picture.
It's so important that we have this ceremony for the work. I believe this deeply. It's part of our tikanga, part of our way of doing things. And I just thank my cousin Pua Media and Ian so much for coming all this way to perform this sacred ceremony. Not really just for me, it's for our ancestors who are present with us. It's so important for us to have a link to places and for these moments to happen so that we are here correctly and with mana and with strength. Yeah, being here is a huge privilege. Values that I think I have always applied in my life anyway are being presented and expanded upon so that my understanding of them is clearer. This is how I work as an artist. This is my continuing practice as an artist. It's excavating information and seeing what comes out of that. So in terms of this project and where it goes from here, it's not so much where this goes from here, but what this has led me to and what that might be.
I'm always interested in new phrases, catchwords. There's a catchword that's been around for a few years now, and that catchword is nai tahutanga. And I think to myself, what the heck is that? What I think that is about is the identity. And I think all art and design reflects identity in one way, shape or another. It was my dad who actually introduced me to rock drawings, and those were the rock drawings that are now, unfortunately, underneath the Benmore Dam. My dad used to take us as a family, as a whānau, when he was on one of his fishing expeditions to go, fishing in the Ahuriri or the Upper Waitaki, and he would leave us by these shelters where the rock drawings were, with pen or pencils and paper to actually sit there and copy these drawings. So we still have some of those drawings. And I cherish those drawings now more than anything because they're the touchstones now for which I refer to in terms of my work. My connection has been because of the beauty that I see and the artistic integrity that I see in those drawings. They have imagery, form that is absolutely staggering in terms of graphic design. When I'm with the ancestors, that they say, look how I've drawn this image. Look how I've drawn this figure. Look how I've drawn the way that I sit when I'm interested in telling stories. Look at the way in which our kuri is just sitting there ready to go off chasing a little bird. Look at the way these guys are rafting their waka down the river. Fundamental to my work is the convention of how our ancestors drew the tiki, or the human figure. And so this is the convention. So if I just draw it here, so this is the seated figure. The interesting thing and the magical thing about what our ancestors did with that figure was they did the opposite and did that. And what was created in doing that is the full frontal figure. What's of interest to me is that construction. What is that construction all about? The bringing of two figures back to back. And there's something in that that is still a big question. Why were they brought together? Was this about bringing two figures together to make one? Is it about having the male and the female element brought together to create a third? So there are a lot of questions there. And for an artist, the answers are not so much answers, they're actually more questions. And they're probably deeper questions. The idea of that space, the creation of that space for that third figure to emerge is something that is intriguing. Some of our kuri have that wātea in them. And then this, the wātea right through here and through here. This was my investigation of that whole notion of portraits of those who've passed on. So, and as an artist, I want to do some work around those dearly beloved. So that there is one of them. This is one of my favourite pieces of work. This is Brother Terry. He passed away as a young man, talented, and just such a waste that he passed away so young. A very good example of the wātea, to fill the space with things that are important. Our ancestors created images that are, for me, perfect. I'm inspired to try and reach that perfection that they have reached. That's what drives me in my art. As a practice, it has evolved over all of my life. I've pursued, I guess, art from a design perspective. It's inbuilt in all designers, I think, to look for perfection. My work is as much about working to express our ngaitahunas, to express our values and our beliefs conceptually. These are the means by which I portray the things, the events, the places, and the people, and the other entities that are important to me. I use these motifs. I was invited to do a commission for Massey University in Wellington. to design a po to go outside. So when I came back with my idea of 2 big pieces of Oamaru stone, they were taken back a bit. But I said, well, what else can I do? I'm a Ngaitahu boy from Omarama, from North Otago. What else am I going to do? When you ask me to do a po, I'm going to make it out of the material that's part of my ancestry. If I'm going to do a po, it's going to have some significance for me, and thereby having significance for you. I've orientated the stone so that the gap between the two is on an axis back to Takiroa and Maira Whenua, rock art sites, back to the Waitaki, Waiariki or Aio, the wife of Rangaihi is portrayed in that little drawing in here. Inside the sheltered part of the sculpture, there's a lot of me in that. There's a lot of me thinking that I like the idea that our rock art is sheltered away in a safe place. The wātea in the tiki figure has been what I think has been handed down to me from my ancestors. This is something for you to use, Ross, as an artist. Go and use it. Do something with it. Do something with that space. All of my work is around filling that space. Kia ora koutou katoa. I don't need to say any more.
He mea tautoko nā te māngai.
Can we please have Te Ngao Riki Waka come up to the stage, koa? Oh, kei konei, oh, ka pai. Elizabeth Cunningham, kei konei koe? Ai.
We're waiting on results. So, a couple more minutes.
Gino, Kokiri and Kaimerita. Hana mai, please.
Gino Kokiri, Whai Merita, kei konei korua? Oh, kia ora. Kia ora. Prize giving, but first we're going to give a taonga to all the kaiwhakawā that put in the hard mahi today. So, hohepa. Hohepa? Right. Give a round of applause for hohepa, everybody. Hoban, matua huaka, matua kōmene. Wai Pounamu, te karu, Poronia.
Sri Waitoa, Mauritian, Beyonce, Auntie Sapola, Auntie P, Nei Hana,
Pane Kahukiwa, Rudolph.
Rudolph.
Hana Aranga and Kiripiti Paraone.
Kiripiti. Just before we move on and we hand over to the head judge for a few words, a few kupu, just want to acknowledge Auntie Moruhu and Tawadau who have made the little kete that you have as a koha with your little koha.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora nene nei.
We also have one each for our MCs for today. A big hand for Singia and for Waiariki. And the last one is for George and I'll get them after. George and Trisha as our official scrutineers for today. Kia ora, big hand for them.
All right. Kia ora tātou. First of all, I'd like to thank La Vida for the place that we have here today. Give them a round of applause.
Lovely big venue.
Also the sound man, shot sound man, thank you very much. It's been a good day.
The cameraman, kia ora
Cameraman.
koutou.
And everyone else who came today, thank you very much for coming.
But last and not least, our kaihaka, our
Yes.
tamariki,
Our tamariki.
our kids, our babies. Man, the talent that's in Waitaha today, oh my gosh. Ka pai. Oh, standing ovation even. Ka pai.
All right, so I'm just going to hand it over to Kōmene to say a few words. Kia ora, Kōmene.
Tēnei te ara o rangi e tūnei, tēnei te ara o papa e takoto nei. Tēnei te ara o rangi nui e tui honei o papa tūwanuku e takoto nei. Kia rarau I ho ngā tapu ai o tāne ki raro haere te pō, tēnei te awa te aturu turu o whiti whakamaua kia tīna. Haumi e hui e. Kia ora tātou, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Tuatahi, I want to say thank you very much to all of our kaihaka who stood today. You made your whānau proud, you made your parents proud, you made your grandparents proud, and you made your tupuna proud. E titiroa nā rātou kia koutou. So, kia koutou, ki ngā kaihaka katoa I tū, they're all going to hang their pipiu up now, because it's all kei runga I a koutou katoa. E te hāpai o, so all of the people who helped, our kaiako, our kai tito, the people who prepared the kai for these kids, the people who did all of the kākahu to make sure they got here today, e te hāpai o, without your help, getting them here from the West Coast, from Te Tihi o Maru, from wherever you got them from, to get our kids here to stand today for this beautiful day. Can we have a round of applause for all of you? E hoa mai. I won't get into anything specific about the two or the things that we saw with each individual kapa, but I just want to say that kapa haka in Waitaha, kapa haka in Te Waipounamu is on the up in terms of our development. We had 16 teams stand here today, and that's all thanks to all of the hard work that our kura put in. The Christchurch Primary Schools Festival, you know, some of them came over too and realised that competition isn't really that scary. Hoi anō, e mihi ana kia koutou, but kapa haka is the winner of the day. Engari, kei te piki whakarunga e rāhuatanga. E mihi ana kia tātou, that's it, that's where we're going to get it. Hohepa's going to sing my song. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. E tū!
everybody. So
We're just going to kick straight into it.
yes. So what
That
we're
is
going to
us.
do is call out the third and second place and ask that the first place come up and receive their taonga. Ka pai?
Okay, let's start it off. The non-aggregate. Waiata tira. Te mana o Māreikura Kapahaka Trophy. Can I please ask Rangi Tūtengaihe to present this award?
Ka pai, so there's actually 4 second equals. Aye. So, the rōpū are te pihinga, te tipuranga, te wakaunua, and te pā o rākai hautu, hauautu. Now, in first place, please give a warm welcome for Te Tini o Rākai Hautu.
Ho mai te piki paki paki. Te tini o Rākai Hautu. Going into our next award, Manukura Tama. First place, Kai Tātaki Tāne. Third place, Kai Tātaki Tāne.
Goes to Te Tipuranga Takawainga o Oraka. In second place, we have Te Pihinga. Ka pai. And then in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu.
Our next award is Manukura Kōtiro. This was gifted by Rāpaki Māori Women's Welfare League in 2007 when they first held it. So, in third place.
No third place. There is 4.
There's 4.
Te Pihinga, Te Tipuranga, Te Wakaunua, Te Pā o Rākai Hautu,
Hauaitu.
and in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu.
Ka pai. Going into our next non-aggregate. Kākahu. Can I please call Peter Paiwini to present? Paiwini, my bad. So this one was gifted by Ngā Tairua Culture Group in 2007 also, when the first one was held. And in third place,
Third place, we have Te Pihinga. Second place, we have Te Pāo Rākai Hauaitu. And then in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu.
All right, moving on to our next and our last non-aggregate item.
Ka pai everybody. So the next taonga we have is Titonga Hau. So this was gifted from Te Wārango Aotearoa. I tēnei tau? Right. They had a mai to present. I will get Wairiki to announce second equal.
We actually have 2 second equal. So that's Tuahiwi. Me Takawainga o Oraka. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu.
Ka pai. So now moving on to the aggregate taonga. First one we're going to present is the whakaeke, which the taonga is Anga Whakamaua from Ngā Tairua Culture Group back in 2007. Can I please ask Peter Piawini to come up and present, please? O rua whitu. Mata rua whitu. Hara mai. Ka pai. Ai, ko tēnei.
So we have 3 third places in the whakaeke. Te Pihinga, Te Tipuranga, Takawainga o Oraka. In second place, Te Wakaunua. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu. O mai te piki paki paki.
pai, the next item we have is for the Mōtiatia, Te Tira Kaiako Trust, the original trust of this competition back in 2007. Can I please ask Thomas Parata, the chairman of Te Rangaihi, to come and present this award?
And in third place, we have Te Tipuranga. In second place, Te Wakaunua. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu. O mai te piki paki paki.
Ka pai, the next taonga we have is for Waiata Āringa, te whakapūmautanga, mai te kura kaupapa Māori o te kura whakapūmau te reo tūturu ki Waitaha. Back in 2007, can I please ask Matorua Whetū, me Whai Merita, to come and present?
In third place, Te Pihinga. And in second place, Te Wakaunua. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu. O mai te piki paki paki.
Ka pai. Next we have poi, taku poi, which come from the Rapaki Māori Women's Welfare League back in 2007. Can I please ask Auntie Lizzie to come and present?
We have no third place for poi. We do have a second equal. Te Pihinga, ngā pau o Rokohuia. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu. I've just been told that Māori Women's Welfare League is looking for recruitments.
Thank you, Auntie. Auntie, can you stay there to present the taonga for haka? The next taonga is for the haka. E tū I te haka o tāne rore e mai te rūnaka o Kaukau Rarata. Auntie Lizzie here again, presenting the taonga.
And in third place, Tuahiwi. In second place, Te Wakaunua. And in first place, Te Tini o Rākai Hautu. Ho mai anō te piki paki paki.
Woo! Ka pai, the next taonga is for te reo. Kia tū maioha toku reo ki te kō ki Hapara. And this come from the Resource Teachers of Māori back in 2007. Can I please ask Stephanie Reihana to come and present this award? I've just been told there's a trophy for second place, which we have. Yeah.
In third place, Te Wakaunua.
Oh, hold on.
So we have a representative of Te Puni Kōkiri coming up, Auntie Paula. Kia ora, Auntie Paula.
So she will be presenting the te reo taonga for Ngai Māori e angitu anei he Māori, which is second place. Ai, tera.
Okay, now, in second place, Te Pihinga.
Te whānau tahi, hara mai.
And in first place, Te Tini o Rangaihi.
Kapai, so now we're going to be handing the whakawātia taonga, which is from Orangi School. And if I could please ask Janelle, Kua, to come and present.
So I've actually mucked it up. I did the wrong one first. But kei te pai. Whakawātia third. Te Wakaunua. Second, Te Pihinga. And first, Te Tini o Rangaihi.
So now, kapai.
Baki. Can I please ask Tana Luke to come up to the stage, please? You're a representative of Lincoln.
So what we're going to do now.
Kia ora, while he's coming up, just wanted to say that a reason that Tana is coming up is because Lincoln University have given a prize of $6,000. And it's to be split amongst the teams that qualify to go to nationals. So, yeah, big mihi to them. So the teams that you're going to hear now are the teams that qualify for nationals.
And here are your top 5. In 5th place, Takawainga o Oraka. No mai, hara mai, 5th place. Mai te baki. Also qualifying for the Nationals. In fourth place, Te Tipuranga.
No te kura kaipapa Māori o te whānau tahi.
O mai te piki paki paki. So we now go into our third, second and first places.
Third place overall, we have Te Taonga Te Aranui, whakatōkia te mātauranga, mai te Aranui High School. Can I please ask Ko Mene Kururangi to come and present this award? Me koe hoi. Kia tau, pane, kia tau.
And in third place, Te Pihinga.
Woo! Mai te kura kaipapa Māori o te whānau tahi.
Ho mai te piki paki paki.
Kapai. Second place overall, Te Ahi Kāroa, from Te Kapahaka o Te Ahi Kāroa, Reihana Parata. Tawadau. We have.
Okay, so we're going to do our second place now. Second place overall, Te Waka Unua.
Kapai te waka unua. Now, for first place overall, for Waitaha Primary School, Frankston Intermediate, they have kindly donated their trophy back in 2007. Who's our winner?
And our first place overall for 2018, o te Rangaihi, 2018, Te Tini, ora kai hautu!
tū.
Ka tinua ke te liwahanga ki a tātou. Wena gai te mihi e mai a mātou o te pāoraka e autu. Wena me ki whakariti hia tēnei tō tātou arangāke o te Rangaihi, tēnei tau rua mano te kau māwaru. Nā reira, koe nei te mihi mai a mātou, nā mātou ke te honore, mo tēnei rangi. Pēnei kia koutou haramai ngā whānau, tātou katoa ka whaiti nei, tēnei tō tātou whare kraitiana, koe nei e tuake nei, nā reira mihi, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Koe nei me ki te fort, te mauri nei o tēnei kaupapa, te Rangaihi, mo te tau rua mano, rua te kau. He ono, ke tēnei wahanga, ki te whoatu te mikrofone, tēnei ki te whakapūmau, mo te tau, te rua te kau mā rua mano, te tau rua te kau, koe nei ki te whoatu nei ki a rātau i tēnei wā. Nā reira, wena ngā mihi mai o hake nei, mai a mātou o te pāoraka e hautu, ki a koutou, a tēnā koutou, a tēnā koutou, a tēnā tātou katoa.
Ka tira, tēnā tātou. Ka tika kia tau iho ngā mihi tanga ake. Ki te whare tū nei, i runga no rā ngā wharau. Aorangi maunga tū mai ki kō, te whare a tahu, waitaha māmoe. Ngā ka katau toko katoa. Kia ruia katoa ngā taonga. Kia tūtū ngā puehu, kia puta ai, kia whakarewa atu ai ngā taonga. Ki tōna rā. Nā reira, e mihi ana i ngā ringa tautoko. Me penei te kōrero, te wairo o te kaihanga kai te horatunu nei i a tātou. O ke mahara ki a rātou kua moe, te tautoko ngā kupu kua ruia nei i ngā tātou nei tai o hi tamariki. E ora nei. A whitino ki ngā tira, ki ngā rōpu ko eke nei te taumata. E mihi ana. E mihi ana ki a koutou māia, te maringi tōta, wera te rai. Kia ora tēnei puna, ka wara anō te matatini mua popo. Nā reira tēnei rā, te whakahuki atu ai ngā kupu. A whitino ki ngā kai whakahaere. A tau atu hoki ki ngā kai whakapāoho, ngā tokorua nei. E mihi ana. I nu ngano e tā huatanga, kua tutuki te rā. Ka tira, ko tono mai, ko riro ki a mātou, te kura whakapū mau. Te kawa i te tau rua mano, rua te kau. Tēnei rā te mihi atu me penei aku kōrero, ka rangaranga ngā hua te muri, ka rangaranga ngā hua te tonga, ka rangaranga ngā hua te marangi, ka rangaranga ngā hua te marangai. Whakapuke noa ngā tau te aro hatuna atu ki a koutou katoa. E whakaote atu ai ngā kupu kōrero, nau mai hare mai, tuatahi mai, taki mai a koutou whānau. Kia ora anō, ma te tau eke mai nei, tau atu ki te pito mata e pupu mai nei, mo te tau rua te kau. Nā reira, ka rea no kia tōrongi atu ngā kōrero. Mihi ana ki ngā ringa rehe e muri nei, te whanga mai ngā kaumātua me ngā kai whakawā. Tēnā koutou. Ngai tahu hoki, e whakaputa atu ai e nei whakāturanga, ke kita e ngā tātou whānau katoa. Pete noi te motu, tēnei rā. E whakamihātu kia koutou. A whiti no tai a whio ngā whānau piki mai, i hoki tika, whakawhiti mai ai rānei, tēnei rā te mihi atu. Nā reira, kāre tōro he atu, ka no ke whiri kai whētū ai, engari ko mohio, kei te kapua mātou ringa, waiho mā mātou hei whakarite, i runga te kotahitanga o te kaunihera. Mā te ringa maha ai ora ai te kaupapa. A whiti no tai awhu, e ngā rangatira katoa, e ngā hautoki o te kapa, a tāne rore. Kare kau he tangata i hingi tēnei rā, ko whakarewa ki te taonga ki runga i tōna taumata. Nā reira, e ngā kaumātua, nā koutou hoki te rangi i wairea mai te ata, tēnei te whakahoki ngā mihitanga ake. Piti noa. Tēnā koutou whakatau mai, kia ekea ki te puhitai ore. E rongo, tūturu ā, whiti whakamaua kia tīna. Haumi e hui e. Rātau kua pani ki te koko wai a hine nui te pō. A matai o tatau te marama, te wiki o ngene rā. Arangi rā, e tū mai rā tahi tohi pera. Mai pini ai te kōrero, hoki atu ki te pūtahi tanga rehua, e rakanga ko tia tuai. Pai atu te rangi o e rā hautipua, nā rātau hoki e nei toki i whakaako, kia tū wai mai ai i rungi te atamira. A piti hono tātai hono, kia tātou tahi, te putora te kanohi ora, e te marea, e ta hāpuri au tautahi karangatanga maha. Ngai tahu waitaha māmoe, te itia whakapūmau e mihi atu nei. Kuri noi ngā rangatira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Kia ora.
Tō tātou waiata whakamutunga he honore. He honore, he hororia, katoa, kia tau, kia tātou katoa, kia te whai, tō tātou are. Me te katoa, kia sua, me te riri ngā teitanga, ki te wai o tātou. Ake, āhine.
Kia ora, kina. All of your tutors, come and pick up your results, please. Tutors only, please, just so they don't go missing.